Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Dear respected guests, brother and sister, good afternoon and very warm welcome to you all. It's a great pleasure to see so many young people, community members and friends gathering here today at Mawlevi Kurdish Cultural Center. On behalf of the UK Kurdish Association and our center, I would like to thank each one of you for joining us for this important event. Today's gathering is about inspiration, guidance, and opportunity. We are here to support and encourage our young people to take meaningful steps towards a brighter and successful future, a future where they play an active role in public life and proudly represent our community in the UK. We are truly honored to welcome our distinguished guest, Mr. Afzal Khan, Member of the UK Parliament, and Mr. Sarbaz Bazanji, Councillor of London Lambeth and former Mayor, Mr. Nizawesi, UK Kurdish Association Secretary, and Brother Aram Chowshin is head of the Young of the UK Kurdish Association. All of these respected leaders have shown grant, commitment and service to their communities, and today they will share their personal journey and advice with us. Their experience will help guide our young people to understand how they too can become active, confident and successful members of society. This event is also a reminder that every great journey starts with one small step. Success doesn't come overnight. It comes from hard work, patience, and believing yourself. So to all the young people here, this is your time, your opportunity, and your future. Learn, ask questions, and take inspiration from today's speakers. Today's will learn the power of positive thinking, how your mindset shapes your future. Believe in yourself before others do. Building self-confidence and resilience. From failure to success, learn from mistakes and never give up. Dream big, start small, act now. Turning dreams into achievable goals. Public life belongs to all of us. How to learn success. This is all the topics we are today talking about. Once again, I thank you. I thank our guests, organizer, and everyone who helped make this event possible. I also thank you all for attending and supporting our community. I wish you a wonderful afternoon full of learning and inspiration. Thank you very much. I would like to introduce and welcome Sir Mr. Afzal Khan. Briefly introduce Mr. Afzal Khan, Muhammad Afzal Khan, CBE, born 5th April 1958 in Jhelum, Pakistan. Is a British Labour Party politician and lawyer. He came to the UK as a child, worked in various jobs and later qualified as a solicitor. He was elected a Manchester City Councillor in 2000 and became the first Muslim Lord Mayor of Manchester 2005-2006. In recognition of his community and interfaith work, he was awarded the CBE in 2008. Mr. Afzal Khan served as a member of the European Parliament 2014-2017 and has been MP for Manchester Gorton since 2017, and he's a MP of Manchester, the Russian-wide, which is many areas in Manchester. He has focused on quality, social justice, and community cohesion throughout his career. Very welcome, Sir Mr. Khan, to deliver your speech.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Respected brothers and sisters, Assalamu alaikum. Let me start by first of all thanking my dear brother and all of course, our mayor from all the way from London here as well. Welcome to Manchester. It's a pleasure for me to share some of my thoughts on this subject. But I want to thank the UK Kurdish Association and of course the local mosque, the work that they are doing. If I start by saying, number one, you just had a quick brief introduction about my sort of political career. Somewhat is interesting journey because I came from Pakistan, I was adopted, I left school, and I usually make a joke and I say I left school with 9 no levels. I did not pass any exams. Then with doing lots of different jobs, I realized end of the day education is important. It's the education which opens the doors. And if I want to have a successful, good life, then I need to study. And I went back as a mature student and studied, and then qualified as a lawyer, and then became a partner. From there, I came into politics. And this is the key, ultimately, why I'm here today speaking with you. Because at the heart of this idea is this. We, as humans, are lucky to be born, and to be born as humans, and then to be born here in the UK, or being grown up here in the UK, where we have so many opportunities. And as humans, we have the amazing potential. Every single human is incredible, is unique, and the potential is huge. The real thing is, what do we do with this potential? If we use this potential, then we can achieve so much. Sky is the limit. And if we don't, the time does not stop for anyone. Time carries on. So it's what we do with that time which makes the difference. And I've seen that once I came into this process of making sure that doing something where you can bring benefit to others, and that stems from my very basic teachings of Islam. As the Prophet ﷺ said, the best among humanity are those who bring benefit to others. So bringing that benefit to others is the core idea where we need to work and do that. And if you don't do that, then what you're going to do is you're going to be letting someone else do it. And you will be wasting your life away. And the second point, I think, is that if you are engaged, then of course you make that difference. And that means that you know yourself better than anyone else. So you will know what your needs are. And if it's your community, same. You come from that community. And therefore, the needs of the community don't need to be explained. Anyone else, you have to explain, and then you have to rely on them understanding or having the priority, because they may understand, but they may not have that priority. So that is the other difference by being there. And this is why I've often said to the young people, listen, you can only score a goal if you're playing football. If you are not playing football, you cannot score a goal. The best you can do is outside the field and clap. And that's the difference, being engaged. And this is why when I got into the politics, because I wanted to make sure that as myself, as for my family, as for my community, I wanted to be on the table. There's a famous saying of, I think it's Malcolm X, Malk Shabazz, and he said that if you are not on the dining table, if you're not on the dining table, you are on the menu. Now, let that sink. If you're not on the dining table, you are on the menu. And that, again, is the reason we need to be engaged, so you can enjoy the meal rather than to be the meal. There's a big difference. And I think this is the second point I want to say. And then I want to say is that, yes, as my journey will show to you, that is never easy, because anything worth achieving requires a degree of sacrifice. And that, again, comes back to you. You've got to be willing to put an effort. If you don't put an effort, things are not going to be given to you on the plate. So that, I think, is the second point you've got to understand, that you've got to be engaged and then you've got to put an effort in. And there will be ups and downs, there will be challenges, but if you are consistent, you keep making the effort, success will come to you. There's no ifs and buts on that. Success will come to you. And then I think if I look at it, I shared with you when I became the Lord Mayor. As to you heard, I was the first Muslim Lord Mayor of this amazing city of Manchester. Now, when I decided to stand for to be the Lord Mayor, I went to see the leader of the council, and I said to him that, look, I'm interested in standing to be the Lord Mayor of Manchester. And I said, do you think it's a good idea, and will you support me? And he looked at me and he said, yes, I think it's a good idea and I will support you. And then I said to him, do you think I'm going to win? And he looked at me, he smiled, and he said, no. Seriously, he said no. And I thought to myself, well, if it's a no, what's the point going for it? If you're going to lose, what's the point doing it? Then I thought about it, I took some advice, and my friend said to me, no, you got to do it. Because if you don't do it, the result is no.
Yes.
By doing it, it may be yes.
Yeah.
So this is the key. By doing it, the result may be yes. And I did, and the result was yes.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
It was tough, very tight. There was only a difference of 3 votes, but I won. And that is the point. Again, I want to leave with you that, look, never be shy, never be afraid, even for the losing. Because even if you lose, you have gained experience. And that means next time you'll be better. By not doing it, you don't gain experience. So whenever there's opportunity, you have to take it, and you've got to take it with both hands. And then, of course, things went out, and then down the road I became the Mayor of the Year. A Mayor of the Year, what it means is they have looked at all the mayors in the country and chosen you to be the best. This is how you become Mayor of the Year. And I was given that. And what's interesting is, no one before me in Manchester has ever won that prize. And more interesting, after, still no one has won that prize. I'm the only one in Manchester who actually won that prize. Again, makes me proud, makes my community proud. And that's what it's all about, making sure that you shine. And when you shine, that light then also reflects on the society and on your community, which is also important. That then took me to stand for the European Member of Parliament. Now, I never wanted to be Member of European Parliament. The reason I stood for Member of European Parliament was, in Northwest, we had Nick Griffin, who was the leader of the British National Party, whose agenda was anti-Muslim, whose agenda was to spread hate, whose agenda was to spread division in the society. And I knew, as a Muslim, as someone who is British, I don't want to have a leadership who is dividing people. I want to see a leadership which wants to unite people. So again, I stood for that reason. And guess what? During the campaign, Nick Griffin sent a message to every single house. As a European Parliament, at the moment we are out of it, but at the time when the election happens, they have a right as a party to send a leaflet to every single house at the expense of the government. And in that leaflet, the BNP said one thing, they were message. And we said, look, there will be 8 people who will be elected in the Northwest, and the last seat is between me, Nick Griffin, and a Muslim Labour. So he used this terminology, Muslim Labour. So he connected it. He was trying to use that same message, he thought, because the majority of the people in the Northwest are white, majority of the people are non-Muslim. Therefore, bringing the faith in of the division will help him. But on the election night, I won. He lost. It goes back to the same point, because if you're not in it, you cannot win it. And that took me to the European Parliament, and then, of course, to the British Parliament, and the final, which I'll share with you, and I'll leave 1 or 2 quick messages, because I have a good brother here who can share with you his experience as well. When I got elected in Manchester to be the MP, I was again the first black, first Muslim, first Asian to be the MP of Manchester. I won. For my bad luck, my opponent was George Galloway. And I thought, wow, I had Nick Griffin before. Yeah. Now for an MP, I have George Galloway. But alhamdulillah, my result was the highest vote in the history of Manchester. And sadly for George, his was the lowest of his whole life of career experience. Now, when I got there, after 3 weeks, I was asked by the leader, at that time was Jeremy Corbyn. He said, I'd like you to be the shadow minister. 3 weeks' time. I've only been an MP for 3 weeks. I looked at him and I said, Jeremy, I've only got here now. I don't know my left to right. And you want me to be the shadow minister for immigration, which is a hot potato, you can see even today. Yeah. It's a difficult subject. It's a difficult area. And he looked at me, he smiled, and he said, yes, I know you only got here now, but I also know you got lots of experience. Now, I was genuinely, I share with you this, I was genuinely scared. I thought this is a too big a jump. Yeah, I've just become an MP and straight away to become a minister. Yeah, its risk is I'll make a mistake, and if you make in politics mistake, there's no second chance. You usually come down. And I said to him, I need time to think. And he looked at me, smiled, and he said, you got till tomorrow. So that's all the time I had, 1 day, to decide yes or no. Again, I took advice. So never lose this idea of taking advice from someone who you respect, someone you think has the experience. Advice is also a very powerful tool. I took that, and they said to me, these opportunities at this level don't come every day. Take it. It'll be tough, it'll be difficult, but if you work hard, very quickly you will overcome this. And that's what I did. I went on then from shadow immigration minister to be the shadow foreign office minister. From foreign office minister, I became the deputy leader of the house. From there, I became the shadow justice minister. From shadow minister, I became shadow trade. And then with the Gaza, I resigned as a shadow minister. Alhamdulillah, I did the right thing. Yeah, I have no regrets. But I've had the experience of all those different ministerial positions. Again, this comes from that. So finally, I want to leave with you is this. That I've already said that as individuals, our capacity is incredible. Allah has blessed us. It's about using that which is the key. And for that, we need to be coming forward. And my message to you is very simple. Don't be shy, take that risk, take that forward, and aim high and work hard. Aim high, work hard. These are 2 golden rules. If you aim high, even if you don't get to the top, you'll get somewhere good. But if you never aim, you'll get nowhere. You'll just keep going around the circle. And second is working hard. anything worth achieving requires hard work. Without hard work, something which is worth, you will never get. If it was that easy, everybody would get it. That's why only few people get it, because it requires hard work, and the consistency is the secret. So consistent in your goals, keep going, and working hard, aiming high. And that is all with you, with nobody else. And that's what you got to do. So I hope some of those young people who are in this room now actually make that. And I do hope that the center like yourself and the Kurdish Association, one of our responsibility is to doing events like this where we bring those young people. And in those young people, we have to inculcate the leadership qualities. Doesn't matter which field they go in. What matters is you develop in our young people the leadership qualities. So then whichever direction they move, they will be successful. They will be proud of themselves. They'll have a wonderful life. They'll be proud. We will be proud of them as well. And so will be Britain. Thank you very much. I hope you have a very successful rest of the program. I'm going to have to leave soon because I already had another engagement. And I've been told there's a lovely dinner which I'm going to miss. Yeah. So I'm going to take it. I owe you. Thank you very much, brothers and sisters. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you. Thank you very much for your kind advice and sharing with us your experience, and really, myself, I get a lot of benefit from that. Hope all the success for Brother Afzal Khan. Alhamdulillah, he's mashallah, very friendly, very active, and he's here always. When we need him, he's here really. We definitely support you, and because you are supporting us all the time, thank you very much.
Thank you.
And very good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for listening, and really we enjoyed and learning from his experience. Our next guest, Brother Sheikh Sarbaz Bazenji, is a British Kurdish politician, engineer, and community leader. He came to the UK as a teenage refugee from Kurdistan, and later earned a baccalaureate and master degree in civil and structural engineering from City University of London. Professionally, he has worked as a structural engineer and university lecturer, researching advanced technologies in construction and nuclear safety. In public service, he represents Brixton Acre Lane Ward in Lambeth Council of the Labour Party. He served as a deputy mayor 2022 and 2023, and then as a mayor of Lambeth 2023 to 2024, becoming the first Kurdish mayor in the UK. As a mayor, he supported charities helping refugees and the homeless, and often highlighted his journey from refugee to public servant as an example of hope and inclusion. Very welcome, Mr. Sarbaz Bazenji, to deliver your speech. The topic is about public life belong to all of us. Very welcome.
Assalamu alaikum. I've got my speech ready, but I don't think I'm going to be reading all through it, so we're going to make it informal and continue in informal conversational type, if that's okay with you. And thank you very much for your patience. It took us about 5 hours all the way from London to get here. The weather is not really good today, but was eager to come and meet you all here for this important meeting here. It is really important, and the topic that I would like to discuss today with you is contributing positively to the public life and what it means to serve the community. Now, I know public life can sound like a big phrase and only reserved for politicians in Westminster or people who in suits and all this out-of-touch people. But for me, it's a lot more simpler than that. Public life for me, it means caring to step up, caring to start, showing up and standing up for your community. Being part of the solution rather than sitting on the sideline and complain and wait for somebody else to sort it out for you. Or often you hear people, somebody else will sort it out for me. I think before I go into details, it's wise for me to discuss my journey, how I ended up being a councillor, and how I ended up in public life. I came to the United Kingdom when I was a small teenager. Knowing that very little English, it was difficult for me to communicate. Everything was new, the culture was new, the language is new, the community, everything was very new for me. So it was difficult for me to adjust and adapt. But I had a hope, I had a vision, I had desire to make sure that I have to give back to the community that welcomed me with open arms. When I first attended a school, I attended a sixth form school doing my GCSEs. The first day at school, I thought the teacher that comes to teach us will be Kurdish. But to my surprise, I was disappointed. An English teacher came in, started talking about science, math, and all the subjects that I was doing for my A-levels. I'm sure all the rest of you who are doing A-levels and GCSEs have experienced what all these topics are and what these subjects are. As soon as the teacher walked in, he started diving into the topic, and I was wandering around, what is this teacher talking about? I wasn't understanding anything what the teacher was saying. But I had a desire. I told myself, I said, I'm going to have to make a difficult decision and continue this journey. I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to leave the school. I'm going to continue. That's what I did. It took me about a few weeks to understand at least what they were saying. In 6 months, I was able to understand, and I was able to communicate with my peers, my friends, and the teachers. But I was lucky. I was doing math, physics, biology, chemistry, which doesn't require a lot of English to me, but nevertheless it was still difficult. These few 6 months have helped me to gain a good understanding how the language works. I was able to communicate with my teachers. I was able to express, at least formulate the questions. If I weren't able to understand something, I could formulate it to the teachers that what is that I'm not understanding. That was really a turning point, because at that moment I was able to understand my surrounding, and that was a big achievement for me. And the teachers were really impressed. In a very short time that I managed to turn around, I managed to grasp the difficult language that seemed for me when I first came in. It was a turning around for me. It was a turning point for me. I've done my A-levels, my GCSEs, my A-levels, and all the way to university. As most of you know, it's difficult for the people who are native to the country doing UCAS, all these personal statements and all the rest of it, and you have to compete with the entire UK population or entire UK youth. Your competition is no longer with your community only or with the Kurdish-speaking people. Your competition is with the people who are native here. They speak English from... They're born with it. They start learning the language when they are very small. I realize that's the competition that I'm in is not easy, but I'm sure with the hard work it pays off. I end up finishing my A-levels with good results, and I end up getting accepted at the university in London for civil engineering, which was my dream job. I've always had desire to do something that requires challenging and something that can the community benefit from. Engineering is a topic that the entire community, the entire country can benefit from. I was really pleased to be accepted at university for doing civil engineering. When I finished my civil engineering degree, I told myself, I said, remember how you started. You weren't able to speak a word of English. Now you speak the language. Now you learn the language. Now you know how to operate. Now you know how to study. Now you know how to research. Why are you stopping here? You're not just studying for yourself. Always I had something in the back of my mind that what I'm doing is not just for myself, it's for my community, for the people who are coming after me, for the people who are struggling like I was when I first came here, for the people who are from disadvantaged backgrounds. I'm doing it for them as well. I'm not just doing it for myself. Because if I can't do it, they will think they can do it as well. And that will lay the foundation for the new generations to come. I told myself, since I can research, since I can study, and I know the language now, it's a shame for me to stop here. I've started applying to do a master's degree in structural engineering. And this is what I did. I was accepted at City of London University to do structural engineering. And I was really good at it. I was enjoying it. And that has motivated me to continue. I finished my master's degree, and I was talking to myself once again. I said, why would I stop here? Let's do something else. And then I end up applying to do a PhD. I start doing my PhD. I'm not finished yet, by the way. But I started research in a topic that is very difficult. We might have engineers here. I'm researching in a topic called nanofibers that is mostly used in nuclear power stations. It might be difficult, but I know I can do it. If I have managed to break these barriers that were first present when I first came to this country, I'm sure I can do that. While I was studying my engineering, but long before I start doing my PhD, I start joining Labour Party. And some people might think, why Labour Party out of all these other parties that exist in this country? Because I believe the Labour Party have the principles and the values that I share. And I believe the formation of the Labour Party, the formation of the party was to serve the people who are from disadvantaged background, for the people who are labourers, workers, the people who are, their voices are not always heard. So I told myself, this is the party that I want to be with. This is the party that I want to join. And they welcomed me with open arms. This is really amazing to find yourself in a new community, different community, and also politicians are not always easy to deal with. But with the help of the community, with the help of the activists, with the people who are like-minded myself that are in politics to serve the community, not themselves. I was able to do a lot of work for the community. I was turning up for the canvassing, I was turning up for the meeting, branch meeting, CLP meeting, all these meetings that are there to listen to the politician, to listen to the elected politician, to listen to the MPs, the councillors, and also the politician in the party as well, to listen to the community. And I told myself, this is what I want to do. I want to serve this community. I have been asked to serve as a councillor, to put myself forward to elected positions, but I've always told myself, I said, I'm not going to do it. I've got a lot of other stuff to do. Let me finish my education before I step in, before I take on a bigger role. But that has changed when I met a few other people, like our brother who just left, Afzal Khan. I've met a few other people who were doing more difficult job than I was doing, and I was still doing politics, and I was serving their communities. I put myself forward to be considered to be a candidate only, because it's not easy to even be a candidate. You have to go through a lot of examinations, scrutinies. The branches and the CLPs, they will have to dig your past. That there's nothing in your history that brings a shame to the party. They call you up to grill you, they ask you all these questions why you want to be involved with politics, why you want to step in, why you want to be a councillor, why you want to be an MP. Thank God I'm not going to go into details. I think we have a lot of other stuff to cover. I'm not going to into more details how I got elected, but it was not easy. A lot of filters to get elected, and you're competing with a lot of other people who are from here, who are their fathers and their forefathers have fought for this country. They're born here, they have their community here, they know the way around, and they have a lot of experience behind them. But that has not stopped me, and thank God I was elected, selected, then elected. You get to be selected by the party, then to be elected by the people, and that is an honor of my life. And then, like Brother Afzal was talking about, it was difficult to put myself forward to be a mayor. There's an elections among the councillors, and you have to convince everybody, or you have to earn their trust that you will be a good candidate, you will be able to represent your community. And thank God I was able to cross that barriers as well. And we are lucky in this country, because elsewhere in the world it's not always easy for people to speak up. Elsewhere in the world it's not easy for people who don't have a big machines, or have not come from a rich families or powerful families, to get involved with politics. But that is different here. But too often I hear from people who are from multi-ethnic background and multi-ethnic backgrounds, and people like us, or especially the youth, they too often say that politics is not for me. Or what's the point? Nothing changed. I get that feeling, I understand, because I've gone through this. Politics can seem distant and full of barriers, full of people who don't always look like us, speak like us. But the truth is, if we don't step forward, somebody else will be doing the work for us. When I was attending schools, in the past few years, I was attending a lot of schools in my community. I was engaged with the youth. I was engaged with the people who are in their early teens or late teenagers. I was asking them whether they are interested in politics. Very few of them were interested in politics. The reason they are not interested in politics because they don't believe that politics is for them. But as soon as I break down what politics is, when I was asking them, how do you want your school look like? How do you want your street look like? What laws you want for this country? How do you want to drive your cars? What speeds your car should be you should be able to drive? Or how your community should look like, how your streets look like, how they should be designed, whether you want to be involved with the decision making of the layout of your streets. All of a sudden, a lot more people were interested. A lot more people were interested in this. But this is what politics is about. Politics is not just about the big decisions that they make in Westminster or in the town hall. It is about the community. It's about how your community looks like, how you're building your streets, you're building your schools, and helping your community growth. Have I gone?
You have another 3 minutes?
Okay, 3 minutes, yeah. Let me see what I want to cover in that 3 minutes.
Encouraging the youngest.
Yeah, so let's forget about what I've written here. My point is directly at the youth, the new generation who are born here. The difficulties that we had, you don't have that difficulties. You don't have to worry about the way you speak. You don't have to worry about learning the language. You don't have to worry about your family back home or your mom and dad, whether you want to bring them over, they're still in danger or not. Your parents are here, your family are here, your dad and mom are here, and there's somebody else who's looking after you, and there are a lot of other people who are examples for you to follow. When we came here, we didn't have these examples to follow. We had to learn everything from the scratch. So take this opportunity, grab them with your open arm. Don't think that politics is not for you. Politics is for you. Don't wait for somebody else's permission. You don't need permission from no one. This is your country. You need to be part of it. You need to make a difference. You need to make sure the country is shaped the way you want. You need to be part of decision making. You cannot be standing on the sideline, because if you stand on the sideline, there's nothing that you can change. Like our brother was saying earlier, if you are not part of the game, you are an outsider. An outsider cannot make the change. If you are not happy with something, you can't change within. If you are complaining about how the country is dealing with a particular issue that is close to your heart, you got to get involved. And the only way to make that impact, the only way to make sure that the things that you are passionate about are discussed at Westminster, at your town halls, at your city halls, is through politics. There's no other way that you can have as much as impact as you could do through a politics. I'm not saying that all of us should be in politics, but I'm saying it's one of the best ways to make a difference in our communities. But if you are talented in something else, follow your dreams. If you are good at math, there's no way, there's no barriers that you cannot be a professor in math that will help the new generation and solve issues for the community. If you're a good engineer, fair enough. But make sure you step in, don't stay on the sideline, and don't think because you are not from a wealthy background or you are not from a background of family from politics, the politics is not for you. Politics is for all of us, and don't wait. I cannot emphasize enough enough on this. Don't wait for anybody's permission to start politics. You got to make it and you got to start it. And I'm not going to hold you any longer. I'll pass it back to our brother. Thank you very much for hosting us here today. It is always great pleasure to meet you here in person. It's always great to have this type of events, to get to know each other, to learn from each other. I'm learning every day as I go along, and the motivation that I get from you, the encouragement that I get from you, this is what drives me forward, and this is what we should be doing. Unity is the key. We have to support one another. We have to learn from one another. But please, especially to the new generation, the opportunities, the sky is the limit. The opportunities are there for you. Just you need to utilize them. You need to start now, not tomorrow.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much for our brothers, Sheikh Sabras Barzanji. We really appreciate that he responds our call, that he came all the way from London to here with the traffic and rain, and alhamdulillah, really his speech was very touched and very touching, very powerful, and we are learning. Our young people already learn from his experience, as he mentioned that he came all the way as a refugee, and then he was believing in himself, and he started working hard to become mayor of London, Lambeth. So this is not a small position. It's a great position for the Kurdish people. He came to England as a refugee, and he has no experience. And that's a good example for, if someone wants to be in the high position, he has to work very hard, he has to believe in themselves, and don't shy and learn from mistakes. Thank you very much again for your great speech. Next speaker is our brother Nizar Waisi. Mr. Nizar Waisi has been a resident of the United Kingdom since 2000 and became a British citizen in 2011. Over the years, he pursued substantial academic and professional achievements in law and criminology. His educational journey includes completing criminology studies alongside advanced legal qualifications, including an LLB and LLM, and professional studies throughout the LPC and PSC. Today he serves as executive member of S&A Advisory Group, where he brings a wealth of legal insight and strategic leadership. Very welcome, Mr. Nizar Waisi. I believe you're speaking Kurdish.
I do.
Then briefly, explanation in English later on.
Normally I give my speeches English. However, today, on all fairness, I have to deliver my speech in Kurdish for my fellow youth and the youngsters, which is they try to achieve bigger steps in their life. Xoshkani bares, برایانی عزیزم، گەنجەکان بە تەمەنەکان، ئەوانەی کە هێشتا تەمەنتان لە نێوان گەنجی و پیریدایە، ئەسەلام عەلەیکوم. سەرکەوتن گوێ نایەتە تەمەنێ. سەرکەوتن لەسەر پاسپۆرت و لەسەر ئایدی و لەسەر چرچی دەست و دەم و چاوە گوێ نایەتێ. سەرکەوتن گوێ نایەتە ئەوەی کە تۆ 20 ساڵی یا 60 ساڵی، بەڵکو گوێ ئەیاتە ئەوەی کە ئەمڕۆ تۆ چەندێک تینووی بەوەی کە کەسایەتی خۆ بەهێزترکەی، کە کەسایەتی خۆ ڕاگرترکەی، کە بتوانی زیاتر فێر بیت بۆ ئەوەی بگەیتە ئامانج و سەرکەوتن. ئەم ژیانە هەردەم هەڵ ئەڕەخسێنێ بۆمان کە خۆمان تازەکەینەوە، کە شت فێربین، کە برەو بە خۆمان بین. بەڵام بەداخەوە زۆر بەمان ئەو هەلەوە لا ئەنێین یا حسابی بۆ ناکەین، بە مانای ئەوەی کە تەمەنمان ڕۆشتووە و کاتمان نەماوە، یاخود گەنجین و هێشتا کاتێکی زۆرمان بەدەستەوە ماوە چاوەڕێی کاتی گونجاوەکەین. ڕاستیەکەی ئەوەیە کاتی گونجاو ئێستایە کە دەست پێ بکەین. ئازیزان، لە ژیانمانە ئەگەر بچین داوای ئیشێک بکەین یا داوای هەلێک بکەین، ڕەتمانەکەنەوە و ڕەفزمانێنێ بە بیانووی ئەوەی کە بڕوانامەیەکمان نییە، یاخود گەنجین و شارەزایی و ئەکسپیرینسێکی وامان نییە، یاخود تەمەنمان ڕۆشتووە و پێویستە خانەنشین بین. لەوانەیە کەس ئەمە و پێ نەڵێ، بەڵام لەم ژیانەیە ئەیانەوێ بووخەنە بۆکسێکەوە بە گوێرەی تەمەنێ، مافی تۆیە، ئەرکی سەرشانی تۆیە کە ڕەفزی کەیت و لەو بۆکسە نەمێنیتەوە. ئەگەر بێت و گوێ بینە هەموو ئەو قسانە، ناتوانی کەسێکی سەرکەوتوو لە خۆ دروستکەی. بهێنەرە بەرچاوی خۆ دوو درەخت، بیان نێژی ڕۆژانە خزمەتیان کەیت و ئاویان بەی، بە هەمان شێوە گەورە ئەبن و گەشە ئەکەن و بەرهەمیانە بێ. تۆش وای، ئاودان و خزمەتی تۆ بریتیە لەوەی کە هەوڵ بەی فێر بیت، بریتیە لەوەی کە چاونەترش بی، بریتیە لەوەی کە زیاتر خزمەتی خۆ بکەی تا بگەیتە ئەو ئامانجە. دەست پێ بکە لە هەچ تەمەنێکی ژیانتای. ئەم جیهانە هەکبەی بەتاڵ نابێتەوە لەوەی هەلی سەرکەوتن بڕەخسێنێ بۆ ئەو کەسانەی کە هەوڵێن، کە چاو نەترسن، کە ئەیانەوێ بگەنە پلە و ئامانج و پایەیەکی زۆر باش. هەموو جارە بیرەکەمەوە لێم 10 ساڵی تەمەنم بە تەرد و ڕەفزێکەوە بەسەرە برد. هەموو جارێکە نامەیەکم بۆ ئەهاو ئەم کردەوە ڕەفزێک بوو، نەخێرێک بوو، هەموو بەشکم ئەم جارە بۆ نزارێکی تریان نارد بێ، کەچی هەموو نامەیەکمە کردەوە من بووم کە چارەیان ناویستم. لە ژیانە وایە هەموو ڕەفز بوونەوەیەک، هەموو شکستێک تراژیدیانی کۆمیدیایە. بەڕاستی بەعزە جارێک ئەڵێم ئەو 10 ساڵەی تەمەنم گرانترین خوێندەواری و لە گرانترین زانکۆیە خوێندم کە وای لێ کردم فێری خۆڕاگری بم، فێر بم بە پێوە بوەستم، فێر بم کە بەرگەی ئازار و ناڕەحەتی بچێشم، کە ئەو دەرسانە دەگمەنە. خۆم لە زانکۆ چەند زانکۆیەکم خوێندووە، دەگمەنە لە چوارچێوەی دیوارەکانی زانکۆیە ئەو دەرسانە فێربی، دەرسی خۆڕاگری. بۆیە ئاسانە، ئامۆژگاری من ئەمەیە، ئەگەر شکستێ هێنا، ئەگەر هەڵەیەکێ کرد، خۆ مەشارەوە و شەرمەزاریش مەبە، بەڵکو بیکە بە دەرسێک، بیکە بە پارەیەک کە باشترین وانەی سەرکەوتنی لێوە فێر ببی. بەڕاستی لەم تەمەنەی ئێمەیە کە دەست پێ ئەەکەین هەنگاو ئەنەین بەرەو سەرکەوتن، ڕاستە سەرکەوتن بە تەمەن نییە، ڕاستە سەرکەوتن هەوڵێکی باشی ئەوێ، بەڵام چەند گرنگە کەی دەست پێ ئەەکەی دووهێندە گرنگە چۆن دەست پێ ئەەکەی تا چەند بەردەوامە بی کەس تەمەڵ نییە کەس بێبەهرە نییە ئەوەی کە خەڵک دوا ئەخات و ئەوەی کە دواتەخا خزمەت نەکردنی خۆتە لە بیرکردنی خۆتە ئێتر لە هەج بوارێکە بێت بۆیە بە زووترین کات دەست پێ بکەن و تەمەن ئەزانم سەرکەوتن و تەمەن گوێ نایەنە یەکتری بەڵام سەرکەوتن یاسا و ڕێسای خۆی هەیە ئەبێ ئاگاو لە خۆ بێت ئەبێ خزمەتی خۆ بکەی لە هەنگاوێکی بچووکەوە دەست پێ ئەکا سەرکەوتن هەرگیز لە پڕێکە ناچیتە ستەیجێکی بەرزەوە ئەبێ هەموو ئەو ئازار و ناڕەحەتیانە بینی کە پێویستە بیچێژی کورتەڕێیەکی تیانە من لێرە ئێستا پێ بڵم کورتەڕێیەکە بچوو نەخێر بۆیە هەرگیز لەوە مەترسە کە تۆ هەڵە بکەی هەرگیز لەوە مەترسە کە شکست بکەی بەڕاستی بەردەوام بە لەسەر ئەوەی کە خزمەتی خۆ بکەی بەردەوام بە لەسەر ئەوەی کە هەموو ڕێگایەک تاقی بکەیتەوە با پێ بڵێم چۆن نەتوانی خزمەتی خۆ بکەی ئەگەر خزمەتی خۆ بکەی ئەبێ هەوڵ بەی فێر بیت ئەزانم فێربوون زۆر ناخۆشە بەلای زۆر بمانەوە من ناڵێم بچۆ فێری زانستی سەردەم بە فێری کردنەوەی کۆدی چەکی ئەتۆمی بە فێر بە ئەو بەهرەیەی کە لە خۆتایە بیدۆزەرەوە برێوی پێ بە تا بوو گەیەنێتە ئامانجێک ئیتر ئەو بەهرەیە هەر شتێکەیە تۆ ئەبێت ئاگاو لە تەندروستی خۆ بێ دەوڵەمەندێکی نەخۆش زۆر هەژارترە لە هەژارێکی تەندروست تۆ ئەبێت گۆشەگیر نەبیت ئەبێت تێکەڵی خەڵک بکەی هەموو کەسێک کە تۆ ئەی ناسیت و یێتە ڕوبەڕووت شتێک ئەزانێ کە تۆ نایزانی هەوڵ بە شتێکی لێوە فێر بە کە سوودێ پێگەیەنێ لە ژیان تا ئەبێ پۆزیتیڤ بی معنای پۆزیتیڤ کە ئەڵێم پۆزیتیڤ بیت ئەوە ناڵێم تۆ پارە و پێ نییە ئیش نییە یەیت و ئەڕۆی نازانی قەدەر بەچی تا ئەیە تۆ فیکێ لێ بەدەم خۆتەوە بیت و بڕۆی وەکو ئەڵێن مێشێ میوانێ نەبێ بڵێ وەڵام من پۆزیتیڤم گوێ نایەمێ نەخێرەوە پۆزیتیڤی نی پۆزیتیڤی ئەوەیە کە بزانی من ئەمەوێ بگەمە ئامانجێک ئەمەوێ ژیانی خۆم بگۆڕم کۆمەڵێ بربەست هەیە لە بەردەممە ئەبێت ڕوبەڕوویان بمەوە گوێ نایەمێ هەچ ئازارێک یێتە بەردەمەم گوێ نایەمێ ئەو هەنگاوە قورسانەی ڕۆژانە ئەبێ بەردەوام بم کە بگەمە سەرکەوتن سەرکەوتن بە خۆزگە نییە بە خۆزگە بێ هەمومان ئەمانەوێ خۆزگەی زۆر هەبێت سەرکەوتن دووبارەکردنەوەی ئەو هەنگاوە قورسانەیە کە کەم و دەست پێ ئەکەن ئازارێکی زۆر ئێنێ هەتا ئەگەیتە ئەو مەرحەلەیە لە قۆناغەکانی تەمەنمانە لە تەمەنی 20 ساڵیە وزە و توانا و تاقەتێکی زۆرت هەیە هەموو شتێ تاقیب کەرەوە ئەگەر بێت و شکستیش بێنی ئەتوانی لەسەر عەرزێکی ڕق بخێوی بەیانی پشتێ نەیەشێ ئەتوانی لە فەیەکی سەر عەرەبانەیەک خۆی تووشی نەخۆشیت نەکا لە سیەکانی تەمەنتا خۆ باشە ناسی باشترین کاتە کە پێ بگەی بە هەموو ئاڕاستیەکە ڕاناکەی فاوندەیشنی تۆ لە سیەکانی تەمەنتا دەست پێ بکە لە چلەکانی تەمەنتا شارەزایی ئەکسپریەنسێکی باشی هەیە ئەتوانی ڕاکەی سەریع نا بە زۆر سمارت ڕاکەی ئەزانی ڕێگاکان کامە ڕێگای سەرکەوتنن ئەزانی کەسەکان کامە کەسانی شایستەن کە تێکەڵیان بیت لە پەنجاکانی تەمەنتا بۆ دەرەکەوێت دنیا بەس ئەوە نییە تۆ پارە پەیاکەی ئەگەر ناوبانگێکی نەبێت ئەگەر نەبوو بیتە ئەوەی سەبەبی کە دوو کەس پێ بگەیەنی یارمەتی دوو کەسیابێ ئەگەر لێگەسیەک لە دوای خۆ بەجێنهێڵی لە شەستەکانی تەمەند و بەدواوە تۆ گەوهەرێکی تەنها ناژیت فێریانەکەی نەوەکانی ئایندە فێرەکەی تەنها بە سپیبوونی سەرت و بە سپیبوونی تاڵەکانی ڕیشێ کۆتایی ژیان نییە بەڵکو دەستپێکی ژیانە شکست و هەڵە تراژیدیانین کۆمیدیان کۆمیدیترن لە کاتێکا کە تۆ سەرکەوتووی لە دەمی خەڵکی ترەوە ئەیبیستن ئەگەنە ئەوەی کە پێو بڵێن شانسی هەیە ئەوەی بەدەستێنا شانسی هەیە یا زیرەکە ڕاستەکەن شانسی هەیە کە بەرگەی ئازار و ناڕەحەتی و شەونخوونی و گرتووە ڕاستەکەن ئازاری هەیە لەبەر ئەوەی بەرگەی کۆمێنت و قسەی ئەوانێ گرتووە ڕاستەکەن شانسی هەیە چونکە ئەگەر خۆ هیلاک نەکردا ئەو شانسە نەهاوتەوە بۆیە پێویستە کە بزانین سەرکەوتن بە تەمەن نییە لە هەموو قۆناغێکی تەمەنەکاندا دیاری و هەلێکی باشی تەیە بۆمان سەرکەوتن بە ژمارەی مۆمەکانی سەر کێشی عید میلادەکە و نییە بەو گڕوتینەیە کە لە ناختا هەیە کە هەوڵ بێ شکست هەڵەکانێ دواهەمین شت نییە کۆتایی نییە سەرەتایە دەرسە شکستەکانی هەڵەکانی مامۆستایە کە ماسکێکی ناشرینی بەسووە بە دەموچاویە دەرسی ژیانێ فێرەکە کە چۆن سەرکەوتووبی بۆیە نابێ کۆڵبەی نابێ چاوەڕێی هیچ کەسێک بکەی کە بەدەمتەوە بێ تۆ پێویستە بەردەوام بی چیرۆکی سەرکەوتنی خۆ بنووسەرەوە بەردەوام بە لەسەر ئەوەی کە ببیتە کەسێکی سەرکەوتووی ڕۆژانە بەردەوام بی کە دایک و باوک و خوشک و براکانە چیرۆکی سەرکەوتنە بخوێننەوە بەختەوەری ئەگەر لە ژیانە سێ کەس پشتگیری بکا بەڕاستی ئەوانیش دایک و باوکێکی زۆر باشن بەختەوەرترینی ئەگەر یەکێ لە خوشک و براکانت لە دڵەوە حەز بە سەرکەوتنێ بکە بۆیە هەوڵ بن سەرکەوتوو بن مەترسن خۆشەویستن لای خێزان و کەسوکارتان خۆشەویستیشن لای من ئەمڕۆ دەست پێ بکەن مەیخەنە بەیانی وعدێکە تەڵەیەکە زۆر نزیکە بەڵام قەت نایە هیوای سەرکەوتن بۆ هەمووتانە خوازم سوپاس بۆ ئامادەبوونتان
Thank you very much for our brother solicitor Nazar Waisi. He came along from Birmingham, and thank you very much for your very beneficial speech, which was covered the power of positive thinking and how your mindset shapes your future and believe in yourself before others do, building self-confidence. From failure to success, that's what he was covering really. Thank you very much for your time. We'll end up the speech with our brother. Sorry, I mentioned in the beginning, I say Aram Chawshin, but in Kurdish meaning blue eye, but his eyes not blue. He called Aram Chawjuan. Okay, beautiful eye, that's what he called. Welcome, brother Aram Chawjuan, to the stage to deliver your speech. Brother Aram Chawjuan, he is head of the UK Kurdish Association Youth, so you're welcome to deliver your speech, encouraging our youngest for the success.
بەناوی خوای گەورە و میهرەبان من ئارام چاوجوانم بەرپرسی گەنجانی کۆمەڵەی کوردی بەریتانیا ئەمێ بەخێراتتان بکەم بۆ ئەم ئیڤێنتە ئەم ئیڤێنتە لە ئیڤێنتەکان جیاواز بوو ئێمە وەکو کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیا پێشتر چەندین کۆبوونەوەمان کردووە چەندین کۆنفرانسمان کردووە لە شارە جیاوازەکانە بەڵام زۆری ئەو کۆنفرانس و کۆبوونەوانە بە زمانی کوردی بووە بۆیە ئەمڕۆویستمان تا ڕادێک هەندێک لەو برابرەزانان بە ئینگلیزی قسەکەن میش خۆم ئامادە کردو بە ئینگلیزی قسەکەم ئەو هەموو تێبینیم نووسی و بەڵام ئەوەی من ئاگادار بووم کە وتیان کۆمەڵی قوتابیان لەو کۆلێج و زانکۆ لەم شوێنانەوە ئەوەی کاک جەواد چێ زیاتر ئاگادار بێ بەڵام وا دیار بوو پێیان نەکراوە بیان بۆیە باشتر بوو هەر بە زمانی کوردی تیشکە خێنە سەرم بابەتان من خۆم ئایتیم تاو کردووە پێشتر و لیبڵیەکی لیگل ئەدڤایس و کەسێکی خۆبەخشم و بە ڤۆڵنتەری ژەکەم وەکو ئەندامێکی کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیا ئێمە وەکو کۆمەڵی کوردی کۆمەڵێ گەنجی خۆبەخش کە ڕۆژانە چەندین نامە و تەلەفۆنمان بۆیەت ئەو کەسە بەڕێزانی کە لە وڵاتن کێشەیەکیان هەیە جا لە هەر بوارێکا بێ بە تایبەتی بابەتی ئیمیگرێشن ئێمە بەو پەڕی توانامانەوە هەوڵە دەین کە کێشەکانیان چارەسەر بکەین من لەبەرەوەی ئەمڕۆ ئەم ئیڤێنتە دەربارەی گەنجانە حەزەکەم بەراوردێ بکەم تۆزی جیاوازتر وەکو لەو برا بەڕێزانە بەراوردێکی بچووک بکەم ئەگەر ئێکێ لەو گەنجە بەڕێزانە گوێی لەم قسانەی من بێ لەوانەیە تۆزی جیاوازتریان بە ئاسانی تێبگارە بابەتەکان ئەگەر ئێمە بگەڕینەوە بۆ نزیکی 100 ساڵەمە پێش لە وڵاتەکانی خۆمان ئەبینین ئێمە بە باو باپیرانمان ئێمە تا ڕادەیە گەنجژین بە باوکمانیان باپیرانمان بە چەندین ئاستەنگدا هاتوون چەندین شەڕ تووشیان بوو هەر لە 8 ساڵەکانە بۆ نمونە شەڕی عوسمانیەکان و دوای سەفەویەکان دواتر لە 9 ساڵەکان شەڕی ناوخۆ و شەڕی ئالبەتاڵ و شەڕی کۆمەڵی شەڕکە ئێوە ئەزانن یان شەڕی ئێران و عێراق کە چەندین ساڵی خانە نزیکەی 8 ساڵەوانە هەموو ئێمە ئەو نەوانین کە لەو باوکە بەڕێزانەوە لەو عایلە بەڕێزانەوە هاتوون کە بەو ناڕەحەتیا هاتوون هەتا ڕۆژێ هاتوون ئێمەیان دروست کردووە لە ئێستادا بەڵام لەوانەیە و گەنجە بەڕێزانە لە ئێستادا لەم بابەتە بە ئاسانی تێنەگەن ئەگەر ڕۆژێ لە ڕۆژان دایکیان باوکیان کەسێکیان دانیشن ئەم قسانیان بۆکەن بە ئاسانی لی تێناگەن هەر جارێک کە شەڕێک ڕوویداوە لە وڵاتەکە ئێمە ماڵوێرانێکی بە دوای خۆیان هێناوە ئایلەکانمان زۆربەی جار شارەکانیان چۆڵ کردو ڕۆشن بۆ شوێنێکی تر بە وڵاتێکی دراوسەیە جا هەر کاتێ ڕۆشتبوون و هاتوونەتەوە هەموو شتێکیان لەدەستداوە هاتوونەتەوە خاڵی سەفر لە خاڵی سەرەتاوە دەستیان پێگرێتەوە بۆیە زۆربەی زۆری ئەو ئایلە بەڕێزانە و کاتەکە لەو کاتا ژیاون نەیانتوانی و هەریک دەرفەتیان بۆ نەرەخساوە کە بخوێنن کە بتوان پاشە ڕۆژێکی باشیان هەبێ هەر ئەوەی توانیوانە کە شۆن گۆڕکۆ بکەن و خۆیان دروست بکەنەوە و بە هەموو توانایەکیان و بە خۆی و ماڵ و ناڵ بتوانن شتێ پێیاکەن بۆ بژێوی ژیانیان ئەبێ ئەم گەنجە بەڕێزانە لە ئێستادا لەمانە تێبگەن هەتا ئەو کاتێک کە من خۆم هاتمە وڵاتە تەمەنم 7 ساڵ بوو مناڵ بووم کاتمە وڵاتە ئێمە لێرە هیچ ڕێکخراوێکی کوردیمان نەبوو یعنی هیچ محامێکی کوردیم نەبینە و کاتە هیچ کەسێکی خۆبەخشمان نەبینی لەو کاتە یعنی ئەگەر پرسیارێکمان دروست وایە شتێکماندا دروست وایە ئێمە نەماتوانین نەمازانین چی بکەین ڕۆ لەکوێ بکەین حتا زۆر بناڕەحەت بوو بتوانین محامێکی ئینگلیز بدۆزیتەوە پارێکی پێ بدەی مەوعیدە 2 هەفتە 3 هەفتە دابنێ بچی بۆ لای کە چی بۆ لاشی هەر زمان نێزانی هەر نەتوانین تێبگەین مۆزوع چییە 5 دقیقە کاتی بۆ دانێ پارێ زۆری لێسەندی بەڵام لەخوای گەورە بە زیاد بە ئێسای بینی لێرە ئێمە چەندین ڕێکخراومان هەیە ڕێکخراوی خۆبەخش ڕێکخراوی کۆمەڵی کوردیمان هەیە ڕێکخراوی داکۆک و کۆمەڵی ڕێکخراوی ترمانەیە کۆمەڵی سەنتەر و کۆمیونیتیمانەیە و ئەم شوێنە پیرۆزەکە ئێمەی سەتیاین ئەم برا بەڕێزانە کە هەمووی هاوکاری پەنابەران هەموو هاوکاری خوشک و براوەڕزەکانمانە لەبارەی دەرفەتەوە ئەوەی باسم کرد ئێمە پێشتر لەوەی ئاسان نەبوو بێ کە بتوانین دەرفەتێک بەدەست بهێنین بخوێن بەڵام ئەو گەنجە بەڕێزانە لە وڵاتی بەریتانیان لێرە لە وڵاتی دەرفەتە لێرە تۆ حکومە لە پشتە پارەی خوێندنی بۆ دات تۆ عایلە لێرەیە زۆربەی زۆرتان لێرە دایک بوون عایلەکانتان لەگەڵە عایلەکانتان خۆشەویستان پێدا ماڵتان بۆ دابینەکە پارتان بۆ دابینەکەن هەموو شتێکتان هەیە ئەو شتانی کە ئێمە لە مناڵیە ڕۆژە لە ڕۆژان حەزمان لێ بوو هەتاکو ئێستا من بەرز نەگەر هەتاکو ئێستا من حەزم لە پاسکی لێ بوو مناڵی ماڵ باوکو نەیانتوانم کڕم لە فەقیریە ئێستا ئێوە لە بەریتانیا ینی لە چیتان کەمە مناڵێکی لێرە دایک بوویت لەخوا بەزای لە ناز نعمەتێکا لە دایک بوویت هیچ کێشەیەکرد نییە عایلەکانە دەورتن برادرت دەیە پارت پێ حکومەت هاوکاری دەکات پارەی خوێندنی بۆ دا ئەمانە هەموو دەرفەتن ئەوانەی کە بۆ ئێمە پێشتر نەڕەخساون لە ئێستادا زۆر ئاسانە بۆیەوە بۆیە ئەو گەنجە بەڕێزانەوانی کە گوێیان لە ئێمەیە گوێیان لە من ئێستا ئەم قسانە بەهان وەربگرن کاتێکە باوکیان دایکیان کەسێک کۆمەڵێک بەڕێزێک ڕێکخراوێک جۆر لەم قسانیان بۆکە ئەبێت لەم دەرفەتانە تێبگەن ئەم دەرفەتانە بقۆزنەوە لە دەستی نەدەن زۆربەی زۆری ئەو برا بەڕێزانەی کە لە ئێستادا پلەیەکی بەرزیان هەیە لە وڵاتەدا جا هەر لە سەرۆکوەزیرانەوە کە پێیا بڕۆین بۆ نمونە ڕیشی سوناک پێشتر سەرۆکوەزیران وڵاتە بووە لە عایلەیە بۆ عایلەکەی ینی بێگانە بووە هەندی بووە يعني بۆ نمونە کاک سەربازی خۆمان ئێستا لێرە کەسێک بۆ پارێزگار بوو یان گەنجێکی کورد بوو لە مناڵیاتە تا وڵاتە یانی دەرفەتێکی بۆ ڕەخساوە یانی خۆی بتوانیوێتی خۆی پێ بگەێنێت یانی هەر کەسێکی تر کە دۆ باسێکە لێرە ئێمە چەندین ئەندامی شارەوانیمان هەیە لە لەندەن و لە شارەکان لە گلاسگۆ هەمانە دادێکمان هەیە بە ناوی ڕۆز ڕۆژە لە ڕۆژان هاتۆتە وڵاتە وەکو ئێوە گەنجێک بوو مناڵێ بۆ کەسێ بووە زمانی نەزانیوە بەڵام دەرفەتێکی بۆ دەرفەتێکی بۆ ڕەخساوە کە توانێتی بخوێنێت و بتوانێت بگا بەوەی کە لە خەیاڵێ بۆ لە مێشکا بووە باشە جەلبەرەوە ئەو گەنجە بەڕێزانەمان من قسەی کۆتاییم بۆتان ئەوەیە با کاتەکە زۆر نەکانی ئیشاءالله ینی بە شێوە بابتان بینم بەهێز بن خۆڕاگەر بن ئەوەی لە مێشتانەیە دوای بکەون ئێوە لەلایەن عایلە و لەلایەن حکومەت و سەپۆرت دەکرێن ئیشاءالله دو ڕۆژێکیش بۆ هەموو لایەکتان وەک چەندین لە کۆتاییمێ بڵێم کە ئێمە چەندین ڕۆژنامەنووسی بەڕێزمان هەیە لە وڵاتێک کە جێگای ڕێز و دەستخۆشین لە زۆربەی کوڕ و کۆبوونەوەکانە ئامادەن وەکو کەناڵە بەڕێزانە کە لێران وە بیکەیف و کاکشەموز حەزەکان ناویێنم دەستخۆش ڕیاخوا زۆر سپاس بۆ هەموو لایەکتان سپاس بۆ دەرفەتەکە ڕەخسانتان ئێمە قسێکی تیا بکەین زۆر سپاسەوە
Inshallah, we will ask Brother Mohammed Jalal Barzinji. He is a leader of UK Kurdish community to give us a speech, if it's possible, please.
بنای خۆی گەورە و میهرەبان من بە خێراتنی هەموو لایەکتان دەکەم بەڕاستی و دڵخۆشم لە دیدارێکی ئاوهادا لە خزمەتانە دەبین و دەمەوێت سپاس و ڕێزی تەواوی دەستەی کارگێڕی کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیا بە ئیدارەی ئەم سەنتەرە باش و قەشەنگ و ناوازەیە بگەێنم کە بەڕاستی لە هەموو کاتێکا دەرگایان کراوە بۆ تەواوی خزمەت و بۆ تەواوی ئەو ئەرکانەی کە بۆ ڕەوەندی کوردی بە کەڵک بێن لە شاری مانچستەرە و سپاسی جەنابی پارێزگار کاک سەرباز بەرزنجی یەکەم کە ئەرکێکی دوور و درێژی لەگەڵ هاوڵای کێشاوە لە لەندەن و هاتوونەتە ئێرە و تەواوی بەڕێزان و خۆشەویستانی تریشکە لە شوێنانی ترەوە هاتوون ئەوەی کە زەرورە و گرنگی ئەم ئەنیۆکو پۆینتێک لەسەر ئەم دیدارە بیڵێن ئەوەیە ئێمە هەمیشە دەبێت خەمی داهاتوومان بێت خەمی نەوەکانمان بێت ئەوەی کە لەم ڕۆ باسکرا بابەتی زۆر گرنگ باسکرا ئێمە گرنگی باشی پێدەدەین گرنگی چاکی پێدەدەین لە داهاتووە لە شارەکانی تریشە ئەم جۆرە دیدار و سیمینارەتانەمان بەردەوام دەبێت بە تایبەت بۆ نەوەی داهاتوو یان بۆ جیلی داهاتوو ئێمە باوەڕمان وایە جیلی داهاتوو ئەگەر بە ڕێڕەوی ڕاستەقینەی خۆیان بڕواوەکو ئەو نمونە زیندوانەی کە بەڕێزان باسییان کرد دڵنیاین ئاراستەیەکی باش وەردەگرێ و دڵنیاین لە ناو حکوومەتی بەریتانیا پێگەیەکی باشیان دەبێت کەسانی ئێمە هیچیان کەمتر نییە لە قەومەکانی تر ئێستا دەبینین پێگەیەکی باشیان لە ناو پارتە دەسەڵاتدارەکان و پارتی دەسەڵاتداری پێشووی ئێستا شوێنی پێی خۆیان کردوتەوە بۆیە من ئومێد دەکەم بەم شێوازە بەردەوام بین و کۆتا قسەشم ئەوەیە کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیا لە زۆربەی شارەکان لە خزمەتی تەواوی ڕەوەندی کوردیایە لە بەریتانیا لەم لەحزەی ئێمە بێک و قساکەین ئێستا ئەندامانی تری دەستەی کارگێڕی لە شوێنانی تر مەشغوڵن بە هەمانە بە ئێستا بە جەنازە وەرگرتنەوە مەشغوڵە هەمانە بەوەی کە لە شوێنی خۆیان بە یارمەتیدانی پەنابەران مەشغوڵە و بەردەوام دەبین بێجیاوازی لاوازی ئەرکەکان و خزمەتەکانمان دەکەین بە چاوەڕێی پاداشیش لە کەس ناکەین و پێشمان خۆشە کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیا هەر کەس دەیەوێ خزمەتی تیا بکە بە هی خۆی بیزانێ تایە دەرگای کراوەتەوە تایە بەردەوام بێت و خزمەتی خۆی لە ڕێگەی کۆمەڵی کوردی بەریتانیاوە بگەێنێت. دووبارە سپاس بۆ ئامادەبوونتان و بە تایبەتی سپاس بۆ کەناڵەکان کە لێرە بەشدار بوون و بیکەیفۆر و سپێدە و چەند کەناڵێکی ترم بینی و بێ دەکەم ئینشاءڵڵا بتوانین لە داهاتوودا ئەم جۆرە دیدارانە بەردەوام بکەین و لە خزمەتی ڕەوەندی کوردی خۆمان نابین. دووبارە سپاس.
End of my speech. Dear friends and guests, thank you all for being with us today. It has been a wonderful event filled with inspiration and hope for our youth. A special thanks to Mr. Afzal Khan, which he is left here unfortunately, and Mr. Sabas Barzanji and Mr. Nizar, and all of you, Mr. Mohammed Barzanji, a leader of UK Kurd Association, and Karam Chawjwan, if I'm correct. And thanks for all of you. Your words have truly encouraged our young people to aim high and serve their communities with pride. I also want to thank the UK Kurd Association and the Mawlawi Kurdish Cultural Centre's members as well, and everyone who helped organize this event. To our young people, remember, success beginning with small step. Believe in yourself, work hard, and never give up. Thank you again for joining us. Please stay and enjoy the dinner together. Once again, thank you very much for all.
خۆشەویستانی کەناڵی بیکەیفۆ لە هەر کوێیەکەن سڵاوتان لێبێ. من شەموس نادرم، شەموسی خۆتان لە کەناڵی بیکەیفۆ. وەک دەزانن کەناڵی بیکەیفۆ لە خزمەتی کوردانی بەریتانیا و ئەوروپایە بەبێ جیاوازی. کەناڵی بیکەیفۆر کەناڵێکی سربەخۆ و بێلایەنە لە وڵاتی بەریتانیا.
BK4 ستایلی نوێ، بەرنامەی جوان، خزمەتی باش، دەنگ و ڕەنگی کوردانی تاراوگە.